Put your oxygen mask on first. Be selfish for the next 3 years. Get yourself strong. Go and get things done. Put money in the bank. Store money, lots of money in the bank. Put your own oxygen mask first. Be selfish with your time. Be selfish with your income. Be greedy on the amount of money or the amount of money you want to make. You know why? Because that's what's going to take you to the next level. That's what's going to take you to where you want to go. In today's video, really, I'm not going to be talking about property investment. I'm not talking about any investment. I'm talking about you today. I'm talking about how you could take your life from where it is now, from where you want it to be. Since I started my property investment journey, I have been approached by so many people talking about the one single thing. Right? One single thing is really touched me right inside my heart. And today, especially today, I'm gonna rant a lot. Forgive me today, I'm not talking about properties, I'm talking about the situation people are facing in this country, the situation that people that came from different countries are facing in this specific country. Look, we all left our countries, migrated to the UK, or happens to be born in the UK, to come here, look for a job, right? To make ourselves comfortable, to make ourselves get to the level we want to go. There's nobody who came from abroad that came to this country to achieve something for themselves. They're here because they want to achieve something. But guess what? As soon as you get here, you get derailed. You get so many stuff going, and you end up struggling. You either come here maybe an immigration visa or on a student visa, and somehow you're able to change it to whatever status you have right now, and you get yourself a job. So once you've got yourself a job, basically you start working. You start working and working. Right? Again, I'm not saying building that massive house is a bad thing, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing that. But in somehow, you need to think about you first. Think about where you are right now, right? Think about that, right? Some of us are making massive donation in immersed church, synagogues. I've seen someone contribute, they're only on £1,600 and they're literally contributing to their charities in church about £200, right? You've got massive responsibilities back home, and basically you're earning all that money, right? And you're not looking after yourself. You're not looking after yourself. And some of us are sending those money to people who don't even appreciate what we do for them. They don't even care what the situation you are in right now, right? Lots of Afro-Caribbeans, ethnic minorities are actually going through this. The last couple of years, there was a research that was made, right? The money that was sent from the UK to Africa, Asia, was about £2.5 billion. And guess what? The money where all that money came from are people who are literally working on the lowest ranking job. Why am I talking about this? Why am I really talking about this today? The reason I'm talking about this today is because I want you to be okay before you help someone else. I'm not saying don't help someone else, but when you're okay, right, you can help lots more people, right? Let's take it step by step, right? You've got your money here. You've earned 1,000 to 1,600. Let's say if you're doing a good job, you're on £2,000. Almost 50% of that you literally sent that to Africa. You lived on the other 50%. You've got your bills, you've got your house rent to pay, and then obviously if you've got other families here, you've got those families to actually look after. So basically, you've got nothing put apart for yourself, for your investment. Some of us, what we do, if we've got too much of responsibilities, we go and get another job, right? Got more responsibility, go and get another job. Thinking the more jobs you have, the more money you make, the more you'll be able to help people. That's not the way it goes. Be greedy, be selfish. Work hard to be selfish with your money. Work hard in yourself before you help anybody else. Right? You need to be thinking about where you are right now. Try to find a way how you can make yourself better before you start helping someone else. If you're giving someone else oxygen to actually breathe, and you are not even breathing better, you're like, how are you going to survive? So what I'm saying is basically, wherever you are, is your home. If you're in the UK, if you're in England, England is your home, right? Think about it as if it is your home. If you're from Africa, like Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia, Ivory Coast, wherever you're from, right? If you decided to migrate here, right? Make this place your home. Start thinking about what can I do to better myself here, right? If you're thinking of building a house in Africa, for example, because when you come here, that's the first thing your family members tells you, build a house, get a house, get a house. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to do. But how about if you think about it this way? You can forget buying a house in Africa right now, right? Get yourself to settle here first, by buying yourself an investment property or buying yourself your own home here because you're here. This is your home. This is where you're living, right? Instead of squeezing yourself in one bedroom with 3 or 4 mates or maybe living in a shared house, you don't even have time to actually think about what's happening with you, right? Take that money, invest it here. If you invest that money here, you buy yourself one buy-to-let property that is generating you probably about maybe £300 or £400 a month. Every single month you'll be making that money cash flow, right? You're making that money, and then you obviously look after yourself again, buy another property. Buying another property will take you to where you want to go, right? It's not about getting another job. It's not about getting another degree so you can get that rope tightened a lot more on your neck. It's not about that. It's about investing where you are. Right? Instead of building that massive house in Africa that you're never going to live there, right? Instead, build that house here, invest in that house here, buy that house here, right? Make it an investment property, right? Let's look at the positive side of things. Suppose you haven't bought any property in Africa, you decided to invest here. What you could do, if you ever want to go back to Africa, if you've got a couple of houses here, you can sell one, use that money to go and build or buy another house, because then you know you're going to stay in that house. You're going to live in that house, right? That is a better return on your investment. That is a better way to make your money work a lot harder. I've got so many people who want to get to properties, but they can't. You know why? Because they've got lots of responsibilities back home, right? They've got lots of things going back home. They've built houses that they've never lived in. They've built houses, or they are building houses that they're not even planning to go back home. I asked them, okay, you're building this house in Africa. When do you plan to go back home? They said, oh, bro, I don't really know. I'm just doing it because my mom asked me to. I'm just doing it because my dad asked me to. I understand that, but think about you. Be greedy, be selfish. Work hard in yourself before you do anything else for someone else, right? If you don't look after yourself, nobody will look after you, right? They're in Africa, they're doing their own thing. You're sending them this money every single month. You're looking at yourself, you're not even living a comfortable life. You're working ridiculous long hours. Some of us are working 20 hours a day. We don't even have time to think or reflect. A few years ago, I had a friend of mine, right? Before I get to property investment journey, I was in college. This guy, literally, very nice guy, love him to bit, right? Working ridiculous long hours, went and got married, came back home, bring his wife here, and then obviously he's working. He works in McDonald's, working restaurant, so he's literally banging about 20 hours or maybe 16 to 20 hours a day, right? His wife got ill, taken to the hospital, right? He went to check his wife. Guess what? He collapsed in the hospital. He passed out in the hospital, right? His wife he went to look after literally was the one who's looking after him now. You know what? Because he's ridiculously working, ridiculous long hours, got massive responsibility home and abroad. He hasn't got time. We need to be selfish and greedy with our money and our investment. We need to be greedy about our time. We need to work hard in ourselves to get ourselves financially free, instead of working hard, satisfying people who would never appreciate what you're going to do for them. Think hard. Think smart. Think about where you are now. Are you in that situation? Are you thinking about doing that? If you are, stop that now. Think about it. I'm in the UK. I'm here. This is my home. I need to make this place a home. Right? Don't build homes, houses in a place that you're not even ready to go to. Right? As I said just now, if you want to build a house in Africa, use that money, buy a house here, a buy-to-let property, rent it, it generates you £400 or £500 a month. In a couple of years, you can remortgage that property, buy another property, get a couple of years again. So many years. You buy your first buy-to-let property, you buy the second one, you buy the third one, you buy the fourth one, you bought the fifth one. Guess what? You'll be able to buy 5 properties every couple of years. Imagine for a minute, visualize a minute, right? You've saved that money, you've used that money, you've invested. You've got about maybe 10 properties. And those 10 properties generate you about, let's say, £7,000 a month net profit, right? Guess what you could do with that money? You could do a lot with that money. If you want, you could open your own charity if you want, right? You could build, you could contribute or help building schools back home. So you can help the hospitals back home. You can literally donate in your church, right? You can give charities in your mosque. You can literally donate on the temple, Senegal. You can do a lot of things. You know why? Because you're financially stable. And guess what? Once you've got those 10 properties, you can buy a couple of properties or three or four properties every single year if you wanted to. Then that's how you become a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, because that's what you could do to actually get yourself prepared. That's what gets you to where you want to go. That's what gets you to the next level. That's what gets you to give back to your charity. That's what gets you to give back to your mosque, to your church, to your synagogue, to your temple. It's not now. If you're struggling right now, how can you help someone who's struggling? You are struggling. You can even breathe yourself. And you're helping someone else to breathe. Put that oxygen mask on your face first. Get yourself breathing before you start helping anybody else. Because if you've got that money, imagine you got those 10 properties. A few years later, you're able to get another 5 properties. Imagine if you've got a mixed portfolio of HMOs, flat, family-let properties, you've got service accommodation properties. You could be making anywhere from 15 to 30,000 pounds a month. Imagine for a second, having that money as a passive income every single month, right? Instead of 2,000 pounds from your salary you're working on right now, half of it's going in Africa, half of it's going to family expense, being selfish for 3 years, invest this money, you start making that sort of money. Imagine that for a second. Visualize that for a moment. Where you sat on your account, you looked at your account, you realized this month you've made 30,000 pounds in your investment properties, and these are monies that you haven't even worked for, purely because you've invested. You can do lots with that money. You can open your charity, as I've just said. You could help build homes for homeless back in Africa. Or you can help people here in the UK themselves, right? Homeless, drug addict, your church, your charity, your community. You can do a lot with that. But before you do that, before you are able to do that, you have to have your oxygen mask yourself. You have to be greedy with your time. You have to be selfish with your money. You have to be selfish with overcommitment that doesn't add any value to you. You've donated to your favorite charity. You've donated to the mosque. You're helping people back home and abroad. Everybody, you're doing really, really well. I don't know what lights you up, but this really, really, imagining that lights me up, and it gives me goosebumps because I know you're impacting the world positively that way. So if somebody tells me money doesn't buy happiness, I'm sorry, but I have to say the bad word. It's bullshit. Imagine you got all those properties, you've got passive income, you invested in stock and shares, you've got properties, you've got gold, you've got all this investment coming up. Someone back home rang you and said, listen, I've got my cousin, she is really, really ill. She's literally in a dying bed if we do not do a massive surgical operation on him or on her, right? And then there happens to be a very close family friend. Maybe they wanted 2,000 pounds. You cut a check and sign that check, send that money to them. And literally that person get the surgical surgery they needed, they've got the operation, they're back alive, they're doing really well, they have recovered. That's what brings you joy. Imagine your mom got ill back home, okay? They needed to do a massive surgery on her, right? And imagine having that money. You go to Western Union or whatever money transaction you use, you transfer that money without having any of the issues that you could have now. The only way that would happen if you become selfish now, if you become greedy with your money and time now, right? If you don't do that, you won't be able to do that if that happens. Touch base, it doesn't happen to you. But if that happens right now, where you're literally working ridiculous long hours, or you're in your second or third job, and that happened to your family member, you look at your bank account, you're about minus 500 pounds. That is a flippy, scary situation to be in. You don't want it to be in that situation. The only way you do not be in that situation is wearing your oxygen mask first. Wear your oxygen mask first, right? Work hard right now. Wear your oxygen mask. Be greedy with your time. Be greedy with your money. Store the money and invest it. Put yourself first. I love a story from Andrew Carnegie. He said, I am gonna use the first half of my life, make lots of money, and the second part of my life, giving it all away. Listen to this again. I'm gonna spend the first half of my life to make lots of money, and the other half of my life, give it away. Andrew Carnegie is one of the successful people in his age. I think he's still one of the most successful person that you would ever imagine. He built corporations, he built organizations, he has a charity, he's got universities, he's got so many stuff. But when he started, he was selfish with his time. He was greedy, right? He had to go through that. I'll give an example recently. I was watching this about a couple of days ago, Bill Gates, right? Worked really, really hard. He's donating all his money back to charity. He's decided to die poor. Basically work more than half of his life accumulating wealth, making lots of money, and now he's moving that money to charities. He's giving it back. He said he will give everything he has away. He's gonna drop off the billionaire list. Imagine being able to be in such a situation. It's a life-changing moment. It's a moment that will take you to the next level. It's the moment that will bring joy to you. If someone tells you money doesn't bring happiness, he hasn't had money. All the millionaires I've met always told me, listen, I've been on the both sides of the angle. I love being a millionaire or rich 100 times of the time. Right? So again, these are the sort of things you need to be thinking about. But that can only happen if you be greedy, selfish with your time right now. 3 years. I'm not asking you for 5 years. I'm not asking you for 10 years. I'm only asking you to be greedy for 3 years. Work hard in yourself. Work hard. Work twice as hard in yourself. Think about investment strategies. Think about what you could do to take you to the next level. I heard a quote from Tony Robbins. He said, we overestimate what we do in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can do in 5 years. Bright example. That's exactly that. Do not underestimate what you could do now, right? You may be thinking, Raheem, how do I start? I don't really know what to do. What sort of investment do I need to do? Do I need to get money? What can I do? The first thing I'd like you to do, right, is to tell yourself, from today, I am doing me. These 3 years, I will dedicate it to me, to make sure I do not work for money, to ensure money works for me. Get that mindset and go and educate yourself. Go and immerse yourself in whatever you want to do. And again, if you want to start your property investment journey, give us a call. Book me a strategic call. I can talk you through all the most recent property strategies I'm taking advantage of that made me a millionaire by the age of 27. Right? You could do exactly the same thing. But what I did, I've been selfish. Right? I had to leave families in London, move to a different city, ignore all the noise and concentrate on doing what I like to do. And today, right, I was able to start my property investment journey from zero to building a multi-million-pound property investment portfolio, right? And I've helped hundreds of people use property as a vehicle to make passive income or go into property full-time, and they're making ridiculous amount of return on their investment. And we are no difference to you. We're exactly the same as you. But what we did, we took that action. We knew we had to be selfish. We had to be greedy with our time. We had to concentrate and delay gratification. We didn't want to buy the expensive trainers. We didn't want to buy the expensive shirt. We didn't want to buy the expensive gin. We didn't want to buy the expensive trainers. What we did was we said, whatever we got, we're going to store it and invest. We store it and invest. And it has transformed my life. It has taken me to the next level. And I haven't even scratched the surface yet. You could do exactly the same thing. But the only thing that's holding you back is because you want to please so many people. You want to make sure you're the nicest person in your family. You want to be the person that everybody goes to, oh, uncle, I need this, brother, I need this, dad, I need that. I'm not saying stop that, but just stop it for 3 years. Stop it for just 3 years, right? Stop it for 3 years. Be greedy for 3 years. Be selfish for 3 years. Make your financial situation your duty, responsibility, and obligation. Look, I don't know where you came from. Whether you came from the Caribbean, came from Africa, Asia, we all face the same difficulties, home and abroad. Some of us got lots of families here. Some of us got lots of families here and abroad. We're responsible for all of them. I get that, right? But you can only sustain that responsibility if you become selfish for 3 years. Selfish for 3 years, working yourself. Look at the job you're doing. If you don't like it, work hard, get some of that and invest it to the next level. Make sure you are able to use that money to take yourself to the next level. Make sure you're able to use that money to invest so you can get recurring income that you don't have to work for. Make sure the money works for you instead of you working for the money. That's a very, very different formula, right? The formula the wealthy people do basically, they work hard once, invest in an asset that generates them passive income whilst increasing value. Right? You can start with one property, you can start with 2 properties, you can start with no property basically. You can get a rent-to-rent deal, rent-to-service accommodation deal, purchase lease option deal that will take you from where you are to where you want to go. You can only do that if you decide to do that today, now, and now is the best time to do it. Sorry here guys, I'm ranting, okay? I'm really ranting because this is pissing me off. It has literally bugged me so many years. I needed to let go of this today. Because I've had so many people that approach me that want to do investment, but they can't. They can't because one, they've got massive responsibilities here. They've got massive responsibility back home. They take themselves a massive debt, bought themselves a massive house, got expensive cars. They're all on debt, bad debt. They can't get anywhere, right? That's the reason why it's pissing me. That's the reason today, I'm not talking about property. I'm talking about literally what you could do to take you from where you are here to where you want to go. The only way you could do that is to be greedy, selfish with your time, and store that money to invest. And the formula of the rich, basically store money, invest in an appreciating asset that will generate them cash flow. That is a simple formula. All you need to do is to execute that formula. Once you've executed that formula, it will take you to the next level. It will take you to the promised land. It will take you to financial freedom. It will give you a choice and opinion, right? If you've got money, if you've got passive income, that gives you a choice whether to work or not. You don't have to work because you've got enough passive income to actually go and do whatever you want to do. But the only way that would happen is if you be greedy now. If you're greedy now, tell yourself, I'm going to do me for the next 3 years, get your oxygen max ready, make sure you're breathing, you've got enough oxygen, then you can help as many people as you want. You can help as many churches as you want. You can help as many mosques as you want. You can help as many communities as you want. You can help as many family members as you want. You can help generations upon generations, because once you invest that money, it lasts for generations. But that would only happen if you made that decision today, now, saying, listen, I need to do this now for me, my family, and for my grandchildren. You're not going to do that if you're spending all your income in Africa. If you're spending 50% of your income in Africa, you're not going to get there. The only way you're going to get there is by being selfish for 3 years, buy properties, invest in real estate, buy businesses, whatever you want to do, create a business that will give you recurring income, whether it's properties, whatever it is, as long as it generates you income and it appreciating value, go for it. But my advice is, property is the safest thing you could ever invest in, because it's there, it's an asset. You can walk past, you can drive past it, you can visit it, you can hug it, you can even kiss it, right? It's there and it generates you money in 2 ways, cash flow and capital appreciation. You cannot go wrong with it. Right? It's always there for you, your family, for your children, and for your great-great-great-grandchildren. And you can milk it anyhow you want to milk it, and you still have it. It's like a cow or a goat, basically. It's still there, it gives you milk whilst it's still surviving. Look, none of this matters to you, but I'm going to tell you. I came in this country, barely speak English, went to school to learn English, college, university, where I was able to get a degree. I am now investing in properties, and I've started my property investment journey from zero to building a multi-million-pound property portfolio. I'm grateful to God that allowed me to do this. But trust me, it doesn't go without saying. I had to be selfish with my time. I had to be greedy with my money. I had to literally move away from distraction. I had to work hard, twice as hard. Nobody knew about the property I bought that I was the laborer on. Nobody knew the property I bought that I lost £60,000 on. Nobody knew about me having shingles in my body. I worked really, really hard. People might just say, oh, he's driving a nice, amazing Tesla. He's a lucky guy. You know, I don't know how he got it, something like that. But I worked really hard. I worked for it. I worked hard and smart because I decided 7 years ago, enough was enough. I need to make my financial situation my duty, responsibility, and obligation. Stay in the game. Make mistakes. Correct the mistake. Learn from it. Keep moving. Keep moving and keep moving on. Thrive. Surround yourself with successful people. Surround yourself with people that will take you to the next level. This is my message for you today. It is possible. You can do it. The only thing stopping you is yourself. If you decide today you gotta do what you're supposed to do, it would happen today. Dream big, but work hard in yourself that you do in anything else. Surround yourself with successful people and go out there and educate yourself. Educate yourself in the strategies you want to do. Self-education is the new norm. Not your university degrees, not your master's degrees, not your PhD degrees. I've got students I'm mentoring now, I've got three PhDs. That doesn't get them anywhere. They end up coming back to me literally to help them use investment to get them to the promised land, right? They've been working ridiculous long hours, they've been doing so many research, that hasn't changed their life. They told me, Raheem, I only wish if I knew you 4 or 5 years ago. Some of them today, they're financially free through properties. I've helped them take them from where they were to where they are now. So I'd like you to be that person that will take that leap of faith, that would get that belief to do things themselves. Okay? And again, if you're interested in anything what I'm saying here, if this is making any impact to you, share this video, because the only way people will learn, take themselves from the next level is by sharing, impact. And again, I'm not advertising anything in all my channels. They're all organic channels. I don't make money in literally advert. I'm not monetizing it. All my social media channels are not monetized. I'm only doing it purely just to give back. So if this is impacting you, don't forget to share it with family and friends, and subscribe to my channel for more of this amazing tutorials, because I share a lot about property investment. If this is the first time you landed on my YouTube channel, please subscribe, because I literally post 3 or 4 videos every single week to impact as many people as possible. And again, if you like this video or any of my videos, don't forget to hit the like button below. Subscribe to my channel for more amazing tutorials. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.